Rap and Reason podcast with Dr. Jeremy C. McCool and Earl Hopkins. All right, my name is Dr. Jeremy C. McCool, and we're back with another episode of Rap and Reason podcast.
Yes, sir. And it's Earl Hopkins, man. We back.
We back at it again, bro. Episode 51.
51, 5-1. Yes, sir.
5-1, bro. How you feeling, man?
I'm good, bro. I just got back from Dallas over July 4th weekend, man. So it was a good time. Just kicking it with friends, family, or friends that feel like family, man. So it was dope, bro. It was back being in Texas. I haven't been to Texas since I left Austin about 2.5 years ago. So it was
Nice.
like a reunion of sorts. Yeah.
Nice, bro. Man, I have never been to Dallas. I've never been to Dallas, Austin. I've only been to Houston.
No San Antonio. I don't think you should have
Nope.
San Antonio on your list, though. Personally.
Nah.
Yeah, nah. I think Dallas is definitely your speed. I think Austin would take some getting used to. It's really, I think of Austin as a big college town. Like that's how I see it,
Okay.
like an overgrown college town. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But it reminds me a lot of my hometown in a way. I grew up in the Midwest, as you know, Columbus, Ohio, but it reminds me of a southern version of that. So I like really got adjusted really quickly. But Dallas got a mixture of everything, bro. I think it's like the perfect Texas city, if you ask me. So yeah,
All right, Dallas is on the list, man. I love Houston. I've never went to Houston and not had a good time. Like every time
yeah,
I've been to Houston, it's been lit. Like Houston is one of those cities outside of the heat. If it wasn't
yeah.
so hot, it would be perfect.
Perfect. Literally. I think San Diego has the perfect weather.
Oh man.
Houston got the perfect vibe and diversity. It has everything you want. Literally everything you
Yeah,
want.
I agree. I agree. And prayers go up to everybody going through it in Texas right now, man.
Yeah, yeah. Prayers to all that have, you know, suffered loss during the flood that's happening currently. A lot of people are still lost and still out there. So prayers to each and every one of you all, man. It's tough.
Yeah, man. Definitely tough, man. So yeah, thoughts and prayers and yeah, man, keep your head up, man. Over 100 losses, insane.
Insane.
Yeah, man.
Insane.
Yes, sir. But man, it's been a week, man. We have a lot to get through as far as hip hop, though.
Hmm.
A lot of things to go on. This has been a good week for hip hop. I feel like there was a lot of drops in this last week.
A
Um,
lot of music right in the middle of the summer, too. I feel like things are heating up.
uh,
Finally.
Finally, man, we just got done talking about how dry it's been this year as far as hip hop, and y'all coming and showing and proving, and everybody's dropping. So we have a lot of different things to get through this week, man. One of them, Eminem and J.I.D dropped a joint called Animals. So we'll talk about that. Not Like Us is going certified diamond.
Yeah, man, it's eligible for Diamond in 13 months, bro. Like I've never witnessed something like that in hip hop in a long time. And probably
No.
when it has transpired, I probably was a baby, bro. Like if we being
Yeah.
real. So this is crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. I haven't seen that in a while either, and I've never seen it with a diss record. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. Drake dropped a joint, a song video for a track called "What Did I Miss." We'll talk about that. Benny Siegel used AI in a unique way recently. We'll discuss that. We're
Mhm.
gonna do a music review. We're gonna do a throwback 20th anniversary review of 50 Cent's album, The Massacre. We're going to talk a little bit about album rollouts. And to get things started, man, we want to talk about a new joint that dropped, a new song and video that dropped. Chance the Rapper, Smino, Lil Wayne dropped a joint called Tree. Now, you are a big Smino fan, I know, because I've heard you
Yes,
mention him on this
huge.
podcast a lot.
Huge.
Yeah,
Huge
and
amount,
you're
man.
also a big Chance the Rapper fan. Both of us are big advocates for Chance the Rapper.
Mhm.
Um, and Wayne is Wayne. You know what I
Wayne
mean?
is Wayne. Yeah.
So, man, when you first heard this record, man, what were your thoughts?
Honestly, I did not like it at all. I thought it was
Yeah,
I think Chance was
yo.
in his corniest bag ever
Oh,
with this one.
I
Yeah.
am. This is. I was not
Yeah.
expect. This is a legitimate surprise.
Yeah,
Really?
I didn't like this joint at all. You know what's
I,
crazy? I like everybody's I can deal with everybody being on this record. I think you got to think like Smino, Wayne, Chance on a record together. This is massive. You know what I mean? But I just think the song, the message. I also think this was a waste of opportunity to have Wiz on a song, but that's neither here nor there. Um,
well, it's a valid point.
yeah, I just thought it was a little cheesy, bro. Like it's like, you know what I mean? I don't know, it's like a kumbaya to marijuana, We don't need that. We have so many good marijuana songs in hip hop, bro. Like I just don't. I just didn't need this and need this from Chance. Like I don't know. I don't
So,
know.
so you might be shocked by my take on this. So, for those
Hmm.
who do not know, who don't know me personally, which is most of the listeners, I am probably the most sober guy breathing. You know what I mean? Arguably,
Hmm.
never been high, never been drunk in my life. Um, I actually like the concept of this song.
Okay.
Now, not because I like it because it's a weed song. Not at all.
Mm.
I don't advocate for that. But what I do advocate for is the fact that he used that as a mechanism to talk about other things, which I
Exactly.
liked. I appreciated the fact that he used this to talk about um, systemic oppression as far as people being locked up for selling weed and it now being legalized. And he kind of down talked dispensaries. He used
Hmm.
it as a means to talk about people's mental health issues. So listening to Chance's verse, I liked how he did it. I liked how he flipped it, even to the tree comparison to, of course, lynchings on trees, and like I like
Hmm.
the messaging of how he was playing it in his verse. I really enjoyed. Now,
Hmm.
then we got to Wayne's verse.
Hmm.
Hated it. Now, so I'm a little on the other end. Like
Yeah.
I didn't think it needed Wayne. I think because
Yeah.
Wayne wasn't talking about anything. So I feel like Chance was on topic and on
Hmm.
like the messaging was there for what Chance was trying to do and trying to achieve with the song.
Yeah.
And kind of do like a hidden message type of song where it's like, yeah, it sounds like a weed song, but if you really listen to the lyrics, it's he's really talking past that.
For sure. For sure.
Um, but yeah, Wayne just hopped on there, not really talking about much, and
He didn't say a dang thing.
yeah, I didn't think his verse was useful. I get why he would do it because Wayne is known for talking about substance abuse,
Yeah. And he
or
was
him
flowing.
abusing substances, I should say, not
Yeah, and he's
yeah,
flowing, but again, he's not. And you asked like, what did you first think? That's my first thought. But as you go back to it, for that reason, I knew you would like it because he's talking about, as you said, so many different layers when it comes to that. My favorite being like, yo, people have been locked up hella for this. It's just a tree. Like it's just now it's
right,
like a business. Now it's like, okay, now government overseas is federal now, right? Like there's so
right,
many other layers to it. And I think I like the concept better than the execution. That was the only thing
I
for
can
me. It
agree.
was almost like a dare type of like record that I would hear in a
A,
video to me.
a dare record
Yeah.
is crazy.
Yo, like a
I,
PSA in a
I
way.
yeah,
Yeah.
I wasn't mad at the actual song. I
Hmm.
said it wasn't like I said it wasn't a song I loved, but I wasn't
Yeah.
mad at it. I liked the direction he went in. I think that it was a great way of tying in messaging into a song that sounds that's catchy
Yeah.
and that people would play not notice. Almost like it's not as good, well executed as swimming pools, but it's the same concept. Swimming
Exactly.
pool sounds like a drinking song,
Hmm.
but he's actually put in socially messaging about the negative elements of alcoholism. This is a weed song. You know what I mean? I hope that
Hmm.
don't mess up the YouTube algorithm, by the way, using that word. But
Yeah.
um, it's that on face value, but it's when you actually listen to it, he's more so focusing on how people have been incarcerated and targeted for selling the same thing. And even him talking about saying like, I don't do dispensaries, my man is who I, you know what I mean, go to. All that.
Hmm.
I just noticed that that he was trying to get across a different message.
Yeah.
And like I said, I appreciate I can get why you wouldn't like I said, it's not my favorite Chance song by any
Yeah.
means, but I thought it was cool. Like I said, when it got to Wayne verse, I was just like, okay, I did this
You're
was
not saying a
I
thing,
actually
bro.
think
Yeah.
Wiz would have did a better job. I
Yeah,
think that.
no, I think Wiz would have killed it because Wiz is like, I'm not to say Wayne isn't capable of like, talking about conscious messaging because he is, but I think like Wiz is a little bit more tapped in. I think he could talk about the weed itself. I hope YouTube don't flag us, but he could also talk about like other elements, in relation to it because I've seen him do that surprisingly. So, yeah, man. All in all, like I think for me like this being like I'm imagining a single for like Starline, which we've been waiting for. How long have you been waiting for? I've been waiting for it for like 2 years.
Man, I've been waiting on this for about a couple years. I got a Starline shirt somewhere up in there that
Do
I
you for real?
paid to rock.
Okay.
I bought a piece of merch, man. I have a lot of respect for Chance the Rapper just because I know a lot of the community work he does in Chicago. So
He's a great pillar, like for real.
yeah, he
Yeah,
actually is doing what a lot of rappers pretend that they're doing as far as really sewing back into the youth. And has been for the last almost decade. So
yeah,
yeah, I always try to support when I see that he's has some merch or some stuff, anything I can actually support, just because I know he's actually paying it forward in
absolutely.
more ways than rapping.
Him and Vic Mensa, like those are two Chicago artists where I'm like, yo, I respect you beyond music. Like I respect what you do, and the things that you convey, even on social media. Like I go to Vic Mensa for like education on like, you know,
Mm.
West African history because he's Ghanaian and everything. His pops is, and so he's tapped in, or just anything
And see,
across the diaspora.
I don't follow Vince Vic Mensa on social media, so I
Mm,
haven't been as tapped in with what he was doing on that front. But I know some of his songs. I even used a couple of Vic Mensa songs in my courses because he's made some really dope conscious
really
records
dope.
too. So yeah, man, I gotta salute what Chance is trying to do, whether we like the song or not.
Right.
I mean, I can get it. I can get why somebody wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
But I respect what he was trying to do with it by raising awareness on yeah, just on the hypocrisy of
Exactly.
what's going on and how now it's being um uh, uh uh, pretty much now full capitalism mode, and they're able to there's full buy-in from the government now after targeting
You
um
know.
predominantly black communities for it. So yeah.
Yeah, and you gotta respect the message, regardless if you like or replay the song. So I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So we'll still be on the lookout for Starline, but I am
For
actually
sure.
shocked, man. I don't know why I thought you was gonna like this record because it's Smino on it. I thought you would go get on here and praise it, and I was gonna be the
Ah.
one to be like, oh, it was all right. Wow.
Yo,
That went
I couldn't
completely
do it.
like
I couldn't
unpredictable, man. You never know what you're gonna get on Rapping Reason. I thought this was gonna be Earl's joint. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Nah, yo, you might get another surprise with another one of these records down the line that we mentioned, but I'll leave the suspense in the air, man.
Oh
It's crazy,
man.
man. You
We
never
might
know what you're gonna get.
You never know what you're gonna get on Rapid Reason, man. Chance the Rapper and Smino got Earl written all over. I thought you
It
would just
do.
be in
It
here.
do. It would work any other time, I feel like. You know what I mean? I don't know why this one didn't, but hey, I'm still looking out for the album, as you said, bro.
Oh
Starline.
yeah, Starline, man. We're looking forward to that drop, man. Up next, man, Drake dropped.
He did, man. So what were your thoughts? What did I miss as the new record? What did you think of the record, man? Yeah.
Okay, so what I say about this Drake record is, I almost wish I could be. You know me, I try to listen to music very Um, I try to not tie in other things and just be able to listen to the music objectively.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to do that with Drake now. Um, it is. It just is. I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
but I will say the song within itself was cool. Like there was
Mm.
some bars in there. You know what I mean? The TLC, which you looking for some TLCs. You know what I
Mm.
mean? The chili on your left eye, something like that. It was. He had a couple
Yeah.
bars in there where I was like, all right, I hear you. Like,
Mm.
yeah, I think that there was some lines in there that were cool. It was a cool beat. I felt the beat was interesting because it sounded like we made it. That
A
joint.
little
It sounded
bit.
like he sampled himself because it sounded like a sample of "We Made It" with him and Soldier Boy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but that's what I heard when I was listening to it. It sounded like he flipped
Mm.
that song. It was cool production. I thought that the rapping was cool. I mean, the video was interesting. It's him surrounded by a bunch of weapons, which to me it was like okay. It's and it was interesting hearing him still kind of like taking shots, like while you're
Yeah.
suing, you're dissing people while you're suing for diss records. It's crazy, yo. So it
Crazy.
sounds like he's sending shots. People are saying that it's about LeBron, possibly.
Hmm.
Where he's talking about people who showed up to the pop out, which is Kendrick's concert that he held in LA. And yeah, it was interesting. It's just, I mean, it's hard for me to not to view this. I don't know, man.
Mm.
Yeah, I thought, but just on face value, the song itself, it was cool. I
Yeah.
didn't love it, didn't hate it. It was cool, had some cool lines in it. Um, but it's hard for me to not see Drake as a cornball. I'm gonna be honest. It's just
Yeah, bro.
it's
It's
hard.
really
The
hard.
video when I looked at him surrounded by all those weapons and stuff, and it's like, bro, you did in the lawsuit. You say you felt threatened for your life, but now you're in a music video. You said that the cover art for Not Like Us made you fear for your life because he had your property on it, and then you're in the video at a house with weapons all around you. Which one is it?
Which one is it?
You
Which
know what
one
I
is
mean?
it? Is my only question.
It's so it's hard for me to not to listen to the music and not have that and like
Yeah.
and analyze that subconsciously. But objectively speaking, just looking at the music itself, I thought it was
Mm.
cool. What'd you think?
Yeah. Objectively, like straight surface. I'm like, this joint is hard. Like this joint is
Mm.
hard. I was at, and you got to think, I was over my boy's house pre-gaming. We turned it on. I was like, hold on, bro, hold on. Like he got something. I almost wish. I mean, there's a many things I wish got peeled back and didn't happen in response to like him and Kendrick's like little exchange, little beef. But I wish "Sexy Songs for You" never came out and he just started with this. He started with
Mm.
this. He already did a freestyle like some months ago that he released or that leaked that was also like solid. And from my view, he's talking about the same person. Like there was a lot of like, you know what I'm saying, references to him and LeBron's relationship. I can't confirm, but it's hard not to imagine that's who he was talking about, as well as just the beef and how people switched on him and things of that nature. I thought the song was hard. I thought the video was is if you just looking at it and you erase everything that happened, you're like, okay, it's a video, like whatever. I think some of the like elements of it are cool. But is again, bro, it's just hard to not think about any of the previous stuff. Like, what did I miss is a really good song. The vocals you hear in the background is a random German singer who did a good job and that they flipped and made it what it is. So I think the beat is solid. It's hard for me to erase what's happened, bro. Like you have an active lawsuit. Sexy Songs for You dropped, which I did not love. We didn't love. So
Didn't
yo,
you talking about didn't love? Didn't like? I didn't like.
you
We skipping
know what I
like.
mean?
I forget love.
Yeah.
I didn't
But if
like it.
I'm a Drake strategy, or if I'm Team Drake, which I'm not, but if I were, I would have said, yo, hold off all that. The party next door thing ain't gonna work. The man Kendrick literally said you got to go back to singing and whatnot, and that's exactly what you did, like which is crazy. Hit him with this, like so. Am I looking forward to Iceman because in the video he's surrounded by like ice, like very on the nose, bro. Like Drake is a very on the nose person. But anyway, he's surrounded by blocks of ice in reference to his album Iceman that's coming out. We don't know when, but relatively soon. Am I looking forward to it? Not necessarily, but will I listen? Yes. And I think this was a sign of what's to come, and it sparked my interest. So, what did I miss, man? I played it a few times after. I was like, "Yo, this is solid. He got one. This is solid."
I'm gonna be honest, man. If we didn't do this podcast, there's no way I would be listening to Iceman. I'm gonna be honest. There's just it would not be happening. But because we do this
Yeah.
podcast, I will of course listen to it.
Hmm.
I'm just cool, man. I've been cool off Drake music for a long time though, so I haven't been excited to listen to Drake music in way long before this beef happened. But
When's the last Drake album you were like,
looking forward to
"Yo,
listening to.
yeah,
Nothing
Scorpion"?
was the same.
That's it. Oh wow, when did that come out? 2014,
That's the one
2013?
with the clouds in the background, right?
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
minute ago. That's
Yeah.
like 2013.
That was the last one that I was like, oh, I'm looking forward to this joint. Like
Yeah.
actually like looking forward to it dropping.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Since then it's been like, oh, okay, cool. Like I'll play it maybe or not. Like
Yeah. And
But
that's
shout out
probably
to
my.
the
Yeah.
this is a
Oh, go ahead.
solid
Go ahead.
offer. When was the last time you looked out for it? Like, because I know you. No, it's been a minute.
I would say 2015. What's the one that came out? If you're reading this, is too late. That's probably the last one.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes
So like
sense. Yeah.
an album after yours, I think. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's the same era. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
the same era.
Which is crazy. I didn't even realize that. I was like,
Yeah.
wow. So it's been a minute. Yeah. And what's crazy, I look forward to or I didn't look forward to it, but I liked the 21 Savage and Drake project. But I didn't want to hear that, which is crazy. It just happened to fall into my lap because I was on Jamaica and all the homies was playing. I was like, okay, you got some. But yeah, that's the last one, bro. It's
How
wild.
how tough can Drake talk in these records while he's actively suing about a diss record?
And also being video with guns, which clearly props. Bro, it's impossible. The whole fake tough Drake era is crazy. Also, we didn't even mention this because we're grown men with jobs. But to the unemployed, this was big news. He posted a picture of fake abs, bruh. Like we didn't
Oh,
how so that
so,
adds to
so
the
we
corny, bruh.
so
Come
that
on,
wasn't on the docket just because it's not hip hop related. But let me tell you, man,
come on, man.
fake abs is insane. Yo, I'm not gonna lie to you. Fake abs.
Oh man.
We in spooky times, man.
Spooky times. People getting what is it called? Etching, like ab etching, bruh, as grown men. That's what era we in. Yeah.
Was
Interesting.
Was Rick Ross right about the BBL?
He had to have been. He had to have
He
been,
knew
bro.
something we didn't know. He
He knew
predicted
it.
this. Fake,
Crazy, bro.
fake six pack is crazy work. You know, I'm
No,
just
and no arms or chest, bro.
and
Like
as
what?
somebody who hasn't had no abs in a while, bro, fake abs is insane.
Just do the work.
Go do some crunches, bro. Like if you really want them bad enough, like when I get to a point where I really want abs enough, I'll start adding more ab work into my exercises. Like
Not booking a doctor's appointment. I can tell you that a surgeon's appointment, bro.
going to Miami for abs is crazy. But all right.
Mm.
Look, shout out Drake. It is a that's a wild,
Wild transition.
wild transition. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But what did I miss? Solid record. Feel free to check that out if you would like. The next topic we have, man, Benny Siegel. We actually talked about this a little bit in a prior episode when we talked about
Mhm.
AI, and you mentioned that Beans was looking to use AI as as a means to recapture what his voice used to sound like before. But before I want to say he got shot, correct?
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Mm.
Yeah, before he ended up getting shot and it impacted his voice and his vocal cords. And he's now done it. He's now finally released something using AI. There's a new track by a Philly artist named D Jones featuring Beanie Siegel. It's a track called Motion Picture, where Beans actually
Mm.
sounds just like we remember Beanie Siegel sounding. What did you think about this feature, man?
Man, I thought the feature was quality, bro. Like, and
Man, it's crazy.
it's crazy. Like he went crazy on it, and his pen has never been questioned. It's just like for him, some of his fans that were there. I wasn't necessarily a Beans fan. Like it was a little bit before my time, my era when I was listening to him heavily. I heard fragments of The Reason growing up. But never was like really locked in. So to see and hear Beans, he looks healthier. His voice is digitally intact, bro. I understand even further why people like love Beans. Not only in Philly, bro, but in rap. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like he's one of his pen is crazy,
Oh
his
yeah.
charisma is there, everything.
Oh,
So
he's
yeah,
off. He's often revered as the number two from Rockefeller. Like often, like most people, if you
often.
ask them, like after Hove, who's the next best rapper out of Rockefeller, most people will say Beans,
Yeah.
and that's just because he was nice, man. And I was introduced to Beanie Siegel's music relatively early, just because of the songs that he had with Hove. So I would hear some
Hmm.
of the songs he had with Jay-Z, "Can't Be Life" and tracks like that, and then that
Hmm.
made me dig into his catalog. And then his first solo song that I actually heard when I was young was "Feel It in the Air."
Oh wow.
So
Yeah.
when I first heard that, I was like, "Yo, this is amazing!" Like it was just a
Fire.
record that I just loved, and that made me kind of dig more into his catalog. But yeah, man, this is dope, man. It's dope hearing Beans in like his original fashion, and this is like the most beautiful way to use artificial intelligence, like to not to steal, not to
Hmm.
use somebody else's voice, but to recapture his own voice after an accident. Like that's that's the beauty of technology and what AI can do. So this is it was amazing to hear him sound like him.
Yeah. No, it
Yeah,
was. It was. Nah.
yeah, I think it's yeah, and he went crazy.
Anyone crazy. You can't AI like his type of lyrics, his type of flow or experience. So like for me, the voice don't matter, bro. He killed it. He
Yeah,
killed it.
killed it, man. And I would be interested, and I wonder if they documented that. I would be interested to see what the process was
Hmm.
like in studio. Like, did he rap it regular, and then they used AI and just matched it with like the tone of his voice before the injury, or I wonder how they
Hmm.
did it. I would be interested in seeing that. Hopefully, one day, hopefully, there's a behind the scenes or something that comes out about what he's doing with it. But man, shout out to Beans, man. It's dope that I'm glad that this means Beans back outside rapping.
That's what I'm saying, because that's what I want to see him. And it's been a joy just from the outside looking at. We don't know Beans personally, obviously, but just looking from the outside, I can see like he's healthier, maybe potentially happier. He has a food truck out in Southwest Philly
Oh,
around where he grew
I
up.
didn't know that.
I hear the food is fire. Like, so he's doing what it seems like he wants to do. And that's what I want to see of hip hop greats, pioneers, what have you, like legends. I just want to see them like enjoy the fruits of like their labor and their work. And like you said, bro, I think this is the way to do AI. We haven't, this wasn't on the docket, but I've seen, or it seems AI is being done alternatively to something like this. Like I know Timbaland, another hip hop legend, is like doing an AI like pop star. So I don't even know, but
Yeah.
that's an example I think of doing it maybe a little bit obtuse. Let's just say that obtuse.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there's a lot of strange things going on with AI. As far as trying to remove the human process out of creating music, which I don't think is, you know, not only do I don't think it's ethical, but I don't think it's even what people want. I think people are attached
Right.
to music and music artists and lyrics because they're attached to a human experience. So and that's why something like this works perfect because his lyrics are his lyrics. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Him enhancing his voice doesn't change what he's rapping about. So yeah, man,
exactly.
dope, man, dope. Shout out to Beans, man. Hope to hear. We'll be following whatever you do next. Hopefully, he has a project coming out.
Hopefully, that's what I'm looking forward to, and so we can review it, man. Yeah.
Yes, sir, man. On another note, Eminem and J.I.D recently released a track called Animals, and I would like to hear your views and takes on this specific record, man. What did you think about Animals?
Yo, so this is on. Yeah. All right. Let me choose my words wisely. I never do. Let's just go into it. So I think they're rapping on astronomical alien levels. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Say it. I will probably never play the song again. That's just the reality of it.
Yeah.
They are rapping their behinds off. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I just don't, and I really enjoyed it. Like JID's flows crazy, Eminem's went nuts, nuclear on this. I just when I played it in my car, I felt foolish, not because it's a bad song product. I just it's not really my thing. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm.
I think like in the context of an album, it could be different. I went to JID's like Spotify. This is like a part of the pre-lux to the album that he's dropping in, I believe, August.
Mhm.
And there's some great stuff on there. I didn't like this song the most of that like little short offering, you know what I mean? But in the context of an album, if it is on an album or if the part two is on the album, I'ma still listen to it because we talking about two straight, like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're real magicians when it comes to this rap stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, not my favorite, but it's not. It's definitely not bad.
So I 100%. I felt like you were gonna say that, and I think that
Mhm.
it makes sense. I think this isn't one of those songs. These type of records, there's a lot of rappers who do these type of records, like Tech Nine and
Yeah,
Twista, and like a lot of these artists get on here, and it's more of a they focus more on who has the better verse and having the most intricate verse as possible, more than like let's put out a great song.
yeah.
So I think this is for that. So it's not one of those things that you want to listen to all the time. But I thought it was dope listening, man. I want to, in my mind, I was thinking like, who gonna have a better verse on here? So for me, I was
Mhm.
interested and intrigued listening to. I wasn't expecting it to be a phenomenal record.
Yeah.
But listening to them, man, I was like, they both are rapping on really high levels. And I'm gonna be honest, man. I think Eminem wanted to get some get back. I think that's why he did this record. But I think on Fuel, JID got the better of
I
Eminem.
would agree.
And on
I
this
think
one, I don't know. I might have to give it to Eminem. Okay, Eminem, he. I would give it to JID for what he was saying, but Eminem was rapping in pockets that I'd never heard before.
it was
Um,
insane. It was insane.
yeah,
Yeah.
I liked what JID was saying more, but as far as like actually just technically rapping and doing some flows and wordplay that I hadn't heard before, Eminem was on here. I was like, okay,
A real lyrical exercise. Like
yeah,
that's
this was just a
exactly what it
straight.
was.
This was a straight lyrical exercise. This was. I don't even think there was a hook. Was there a hook? I don't even remember a hook.
Nah.
Yeah, there was.
I
There
was
wasn't
like,
a
what is
hook.
the structure of the song? But with given that context, yeah, like 100%. It was like, yo, let's just rap. Like, and there's value in that too. You know what I mean? Yeah, especially with posse cuts. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Yep.
these records are just way just like I said, lyrical exercise, man. It's just an opportunity for them to be able to flex. And really it sounds more competitive than anything to me when
Yeah.
I hear it. Like I remember this, it reminds me of this track. I don't know if you were familiar with this track called Worldwide Choppers back in the day.
Is that Cash Money or am I tripping?
No, so it was a track with everybody. It was like Tech Nine, Busta Rhymes,
Oh.
Twista, Eminem. It was like every super lyrical, fast rapper
Mm-hmm.
known to man was is a verse from all of them on it. And it's
That's
one of those
crazy.
same records where it's just verses of them just going crazy. It's like every fast rapper known to me. You gotta listen to it when you get a chance. But it's like
Yeah.
one of these same records where it's like you're not listening to it because it's catchy. You're just listening to it in awe of what they're doing, and then you're like, okay, okay, I'm cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was one of those records. It was everybody on there. I think it was Eminem, Twista, Busta Rhymes. I feel like Tech Nine. It was like like I think one of the Bone Thugs. I wouldn't say Crazy Bone might have been on it. It was everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Or White Choppers, man. I'm gonna have to check it out after the pod.
yeah. Check it
Yeah.
out, man. It's one of those, and that's what this reminded me of. This is just like we're just rapping to see who rap better.
Mm.
That's it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not trying to make a good record. So
Mm.
on that front, I probably will not visit this again either. So I get what you're saying on that. But they rapping though.
Yeah.
Like and JID is continuing to prove my point. I'm still standing on it. I still think JID is. I'm looking forward to this album, man. I think JID is still out rapping almost
Yeah.
everybody. Like everybody.
And like we said, he can make great music too on top of that. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm looking forward to God Does Like Ugly. I'm looking forward to that.
God does like ugly man is dropping, man. And this isn't on our docket, but man, Clips is dropping in the next few days.
Yes, bro. And I'm excited. Like that's like the most anticipated album of the year for me. Like hands down.
Oh, hands
It's
down.
not even close. Yeah.
And I think that leads us to our next topic, man. The Clips is dropping that album, Let God Sort Them Out. And we wanted to talk a little bit more about album rollouts. I think this is one of the best rollouts, and we talked about this off mic, that we've seen in a long time. Like
Long time.
the fact that they're rolling out snippets of these interviews where they're talking about
Hmm.
some of the songs, the fact that they rolled out this extremely well polished video.
Hmm.
It was just like you know what I mean. I think that what they're doing with this rollout is hands down the most impressive rollout I've seen in a long time.
In a long time. And I don't like it's a combination, like you said, of things. It's the interview clips, it's in segments, it's the stories. It's almost like everything is paid to. They even have a story in what was it, GQ, that was a story about everything that the initial story couldn't say. And I'm just like, hold
Mm.
on, bruh, like what is going on? And it's all and even like I think it's the merch. I think that when it
Oh,
comes
the
to
merch is crazy.
oh my God,
They, they,
bruh. Like
they,
so
they've done a collaboration with everybody. Of course, they got a collab with
mm,
BBC, Billionaire
yeah.
Boys Club. They got one with another, what's the name of this brand? It's a denim
Is it
company.
claws?
They got one with Claws, with the
Yeah.
artist Claws. They got another merch brand with, I can't think of the name. It's another denim. It's a denim company.
Mm,
Can't think of the name, but they have like four different merch collaborations, which is crazy. I've never seen that with
crazy.
artists. I've never seen them roll out all of these different types of merch collaborations before. It's different.
Is wild. The album cover apparently I think it's Claws
It's
too.
Claws. Yeah.
Design. So like everything, bruh, like the track list, obviously, like artists do that, but like when it comes to everything else that we're seeing, and I have no doubt in my mind at least that the recording or leak of Kendrick's verse on Whips and Chains was like strategic too. Like I think
Oh
all
yeah.
every element has been strategic from front to back. So like when it comes to rollouts, bro, I don't think I've seen a rollout like this in a very long time. And I can't even think of what other one could compare to this one at this point.
No, this is different. I don't think we've seen a rollout this good in the digital music age,
Yeah.
in the internet wave. I think that they've done the internet better than I've seen anybody do for a rollout, as far as like putting out everything just matching up. Like I feel like
Mm.
like my algorithm is just so tied to it that it'll be like as soon as the song dropped, then I get a snippet of them talking about the song and telling a story about the song. Even on one of the interview clips where they talk about the intro that's about their parents passing away, and like
Mm.
then they even inserted like a little snippet of that song. Like it's just crazy. Now I've never seen this level of rollout. I think that the only rollout not comparable to this, but that was the most like strategic, I'd say, is maybe that Kanye and 50 Cent. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
competing thing. I think that that was a
Mm.
pretty strategic rollout that made both of the albums sell more than they probably would have otherwise.
Yeah. And if you
Um,
think about it, I don't know if this really counts as a rollout, but the Kendrick Drake thing, I feel like that was part
you
rollout,
know
part.
what? I'm gonna be
You know what
real.
I mean?
That was a crazy rollout. That
That was
rollout of
crazy.
this record was. If we counting the rollout of those disc records, that was the best rollout.
Yo, that was kind of masterful. But like, other than that, dog, like it's yeah, like the clips is on one, bro. Like this is crazy, bro.
Yeah, man, I'm 100% looking forward to that album dropping. So, we'll be absolutely reviewing it on the next episode. So,
Yeah,
yeah, make sure y'all are on the lookout for that, man. We might need to. Well, we'll see. I mean, I was gonna say we might need to jump on here and review that sooner, but I don't know. We'll see. At the latest, we'll be reviewing it on next week episode. For
exactly. Yeah,
that's a big moment in hip hop right there. Ab-
huge.
a- Absolutely, man. Speaking of the 50 Cent and Kanye collab, man, we got another album review.
Yes.
You know, a lot of times when people think about 50 Cent, they automatically think of Get Rich or Die Trying,
Hmm.
the debut album by 50 Cent. And there was a follow-up album after that.
Yeah. People act like it don't exist, and it's fire.
Yeah, people definitely act like it doesn't exist. It still sold a whole lot of records.
Hmm.
And it was an album called The Massacre, that was released in 2005. It's actually the 20th anniversary um, of that album. And man, when this first, well, not when it first dropped because we was super young, but
Yeah.
if you remember when it first dropped, I still remember when the Massacre dropped, 2005. I was 12. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was old enough to know what was happening. What do you recall when this dropped, or whenever you first heard this? What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I didn't hear this until super later. Like mad later. Probably, you know what's crazy? I probably heard it around Curtis. So I think it wasn't even that late. I think Curtis dropped it maybe '07, '08.
Mhm.
So I heard it around that time. Of course, you hear like Candy Shop, Hate It or Love It, like, you know, the remix and everything else. But as far as like actually sitting down and listening to it from top to bottom, it took a little minute for me because I was just mad young. But like when it comes to like the quality of this record, I think Get Rich or Die Trying is just like it's almost like a canon event in like hip hop where it's like, oh, you point to that moment when you look back at like a prominent or important time in music.
Absolutely.
But I think The Massacre is a really, really good album. I would argue a classic, bro. Like, yeah,
Hmm.
man. What did you think?
Well,
Yeah.
hold on.
Yeah.
You sat up here and you told me Nas's Godson wasn't a classic.
Yeah.
I just want to
Yeah.
reiterate that.
Hmm.
Out of 22 songs on here, there's about 10 of them I don't like.
Oh, really?
So,
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, I'm tripping.
so
Yeah, yeah, I'm
I
tripping.
just want to put
Yeah,
that out there.
yeah, yeah.
But all in all, man, there's some heat on here. So the
There is
Master
some heat.
is one of those albums that number one, I don't think the album is way too long, but the songs that I
Yeah,
really like, because I mean, this is an hour and 17 minutes. That's a long album.
it's a long album. Yeah,
That's a long album. But the
by
songs I
20
love
minutes.
on here are fire. Like,
Mhm.
and I think it's a good variety of songs on here that are hard. To start off, man, In My Hood is hard.
Hard.
One of my favorite joints on here, I'm Supposed to Die Tonight, is just a dope record, dope storytelling. Rider music, hard.
Mhm.
Um, some hits that are on here. I mean,
Yeah,
Disco Inferno, just a little bit, are just classic records.
come
Those are
on.
just like perfectly curated hits, where it's
Yeah,
like they're just well produced, like across the board. Same thing with Candy Shop. Just undeniable records that like it's hard to not like those songs.
yeah,
You would really be have to try hard to dislike them.
yeah,
One of my favorite records on here, God Gave Me Style.
yeah,
Dope record, man. So yeah, the songs I like on here, I love. I just think that there are also a lot of songs on here that I don't care for. That I just like. I don't hate them, but they're just forgettable.
yeah,
I think that I Get Rich or Die Trying is definitely a better album to me. I think it's
yeah.
a more polished and more complete album. I think this one there's some songs that could have been left off that were
Mhm.
added. But all in all, man, it's a lot of heat on here. And then most people will call this a classic just because the songs that they like on here. The
Yeah.
same
They
reason why I call
love.
the same reason why I call Godson a classic is the same reason
Yeah,
why people call the Massacre a classic is because the songs that are on here are
Mhm.
so impactful that it's like it kind of makes up for the songs that aren't. You know, saying
Yeah.
you know what I mean. It kind of covers that those not flaws, but the areas you don't like are made up for by the areas that you really love. So I think that,
Yeah.
and because this album sold a whole lot of records.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
And he was on top of the mountain. It's almost like, but this album, I no, I hear you. It like the just a little bit candy shop almost mask the blemishes on this album. It's like the ugly girl with hazel eyes or something like or whatever, bro. That's compared to. I mean, you be infatuated with what I mean those and forget like, but listen, yeah, nah, you're right. Pretty much every song you said. I rock with, man. In my hood, I'm supposed to die tonight.
Ugly
Candy
girl,
shop just a little bit. Go without saying. What you saying? What?
the ugly girl with hazel eyes is a crazy. That's a crazy
Yo.
analogy, but what you saying?
Yeah, God gave me style. I think the G mix to or G Unit remix to Hate It or Love It. I love Hate It or Love It so
Oh,
much.
I just love that record. You
You know
know,
what I mean? I don't mind Tony Yayo being on it. But yeah, like other than other than that, man, yeah, it's a good album. It's good. Like, you know what I mean? It's flawed, but it's good. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm about to say, I understand why people call it a classic. Like if I'm using the metrics of like I use for Godson, where it's like and I think maybe classic record needs to be identified by how many memorable songs are on there, how many
Yeah.
fire records, instead of like it being almost perfect. Because some of these albums back in the day were just long. You know what I mean?
They were
People
just
put 20,
long. Yeah.
25 songs on an album, all 25 not gonna be hard. Like
You feel me? Yeah.
you're
Like
putting
I
that
think
many.
of Mace's Harlem World. Like I feel like if you ask a
Give it
New
that.
York person, oh, that of course it's a classic. But when you go back, you like this. There's too many songs on here. I
Yeah.
just love these 5 songs. Like you know what I mean?
And that's why I
But
think, and that's why I think the criteria can't be that all the songs are good because I think it has to be that I feel like if the album has more than 5 or 6 certified classic records on there that are like
yeah,
it's hard for me to not call it a classic. 20 years later, that still ring off that I
you feel
still
me?
like
Yeah.
that. I think it's hard to not call it a classic album,
Mhm.
especially when it had the impact that this had. Looking it up now, man, we talking about this sold over 1 million copies first week.
Oh,
And mind you, this is when people have to actually go and buy an album.
yes, yo.
But we're talking about that 1 million people got up, went to their car, drove to a record store, and bought an album. You know what I
That's
mean?
insane,
A
bro.
million, over 1.14 million first week.
First
It went on to
week.
sell 7 million copies in the US and 12 million worldwide. So when you're talking about this type of record, it's hard to not call this a classic.
Come on, man.
You
Come
know what I
on.
mean? And so yeah, this is one of those ones, man. Like I said, there's at least 8 songs on here that I love.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
100%.
And I think that's a good ratio for an album.
It definitely is. And you got to think, people still wonder why someone like a 50 Cent is known internationally still for his
Oh,
music, not just the shows, brother. They probably don't even know about the show, but they definitely know about the artist. It's because of like, album songs like these, bro. Yeah.
I was in Spain and I heard I heard a Spanish version of Candy Shop. Like literally, like they're like every European country I've been to, I've heard 50 Cent at some point.
Which is crazy. Greece,
Greece,
Italy,
Italy, all of
Spain.
them. In each one of those destinations where I took students, I've heard 50 Cent in some way,
Yo.
shape, or form. I heard Hate It or Love It when I was in Italy. When I was in Greece, I heard what was the joint? Go Shawty, it's your birthday. I heard that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like 50 Cent is huge internationally.
Huge.
Nelly,
Huge.
Nelly is huge, and like some of these people who, people be like, oh, they washed up, or that's an old school actor, who we talk about like that here. They're revered in some of these other countries.
Yeah. Yeah. In Asia, like you can't 50 Cent is big, Nelly is big there too. Yeah.
Africa, huge. You know what I
Huge.
mean? That's why a lot of these artists are you when you see their tours, a lot of their tours are international tours.
Yeah.
And it's because of that, because their music has lasted the test of time. Here, because we're the birthplace of the genre, we move on to stuff fast. We have so many rappers
Hmm.
here. It's like, oh, we always want to what's the next thing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing?
Exactly.
Where other people they sit with this stuff and are like, oh my, in awe of what it meant and its significance. So, yeah, man,
Mhm.
shout out 50 Cent, man. He was 2 for 2 right here.
2 for 2 for sure. Yeah.
Out the gate, 2 for 2, man. This is one of those ones. So yeah, if you've never heard the Massacre, I highly recommend checking it out. The Massacre, Get Rich or Die Trying are those are up there on hip hop albums. Like those are very very memorable. Um, and it just impacted hip hop. Like 50 Cent's debut was something like we've never seen. Like
Nothing. Nah. And there was so much what do you call it? Like there was a mystique built around him because of like what happened to him
yeah,
tragically. You know what I mean? Him getting shot and him like he fit the gangster like mold so well, but the music match. He's backed by one of the greatest, if not the greatest hip hop producer of all time.
and
Eminem, you
And
know what I
and
mean?
even before that, man, he went on a mixtape run. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I think a lot of us forget that because he wasn't his mixtapes weren't in the mixtape era that we came
Yeah.
up in. So we came up in the blog era of mixtapes where it was that piff but before that, he actually had a mixtape run, streets CD hand to hand mixtape run, back when no record label would touch him. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
When it was just like, no, he's just too big of a liability. We don't want anything to do with 50 Cent. I mean, we talking about big artists passed on. Diddy passed on 50 Cent. A lot
Yeah.
of a lot of the big executives at the time were like, absolutely, we want nothing to do with this guy.
Hmm.
He's walking around with a bulletproof vest on. We're cool. Like,
Yeah, exactly. In these exact meetings at that. He
right.
dissed all these rappers on the what is it?
How to rob?
How to Rob. Like, come
Yeah.
on, man. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So there was a huge hype built around him before his debut albums, man. And he had a hip hop run that we haven't seen in a while.
In a while, yeah.
Yeah, character though. Character now. Now I'm known more for being a troll, but
A master troll, bro. He didn't master this internet thing, bro, to a
oh,
T.
oh yeah, he was early
Yeah.
on it. He was early on it. With This Is
Mm,
50 and all that, he was early on all this internet stuff. On all
yeah.
of the internet shenanigans. Very early. Man, what else we got? Is that it? Let's
I
see.
think that
What
might
else
be
we
it,
yeah,
yo.
what else we got, man?
Oh,
Hit
not like us when Diamond. Did we talk about
Oh,
that?
we did not,
Yeah.
man. Not Like Us. For those who do not know, Kendrick Lamar's diss record, infamous diss record at this point. I mean, this is
Yeah.
infamous diss record, Not Like Us. You might have heard it at the Super Bowl. You might have heard it on the stadium tour.
Yeah.
You've heard it somewhere. Not Like Us is going certified diamond.
Diamond, bro.
Um, I've never heard of a diss record ever in history going diamond. I'm pretty sure this is the first one. Um, what do you think about how Not Like Us is aged and what it's become culturally?
I think it's become this fu to anything, against any like it can be applied in so many different ways, right? Like it was very much it's become like a LA staple. That goes without saying, a West Coast staple, really. And then everybody started applying it to their own life. Like in my world, you not like us, bro. Y'all like social media influencers are not journalists. Like I could, if I wanted to, I could apply you not like us to that. You in academia, you could be like,
Oh, you already
yo,
know.
y'all internet
Historian.
educators, you know what I mean, historians, y'all not like us, bro. Like, you know what I mean? So I think it for that reason it can apply to so many things, and I think people really took to that. Also, it's just catchy. Like people argue that because we talked about best hip hop disses of all time. Some people argue, well, Kendrick's not really like rapping on a level of like other disses. I would argue he is because he talked about like the history of Atlanta and just like, you know what I mean, that stuff and colonization. He rapped that into a diss record.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
that to me that puts that verse put this record on a whole nother stratosphere. Like
Yeah.
him to break down Drake being a colonizer in a song by attaching it to all of the artists he's collaborated with was
In
just
Atlanta,
genius. And
it
all
was
in
genius.
Atlanta, I'm that verse is what took it over the top. The other verse was that verse when I heard this, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is different.
No, it's different, bro. So the conversation about greatest disc records, I think you have to account for that it's certified to go diamond in 13 months.
That's crazy. That,
Like that's
bro,
crazy, bro. In
it,
this, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's great. It's
in
nuts.
this age of fast food music where usually
Mhm.
people are done with a song after a couple of weeks, a month
Yeah.
maybe. For this song to have lived on for as long as it has, and like we both saw it live.
Yeah.
We saw the live what Not Like Us does in a stadium full of people. So,
Yeah.
a lot of them try to make it seem like, oh, it was bots that hyped this song up. Bro, if you've not been outside, you know what I mean? I've heard this in Cali,
Yeah.
outside in Cali, and this was
Yeah.
doing exactly what you thought it would do. Like
Yes.
this is not a this isn't a industry plant hit. I'm sorry.
No. It's clear as day. Even people in Toronto at their Toronto show, Kendrick and Scissors, were
Ah,
saying like, you know what I mean? We're singing it word for word. And it's so catchy and it's so like the hook is so catchy, bro. Like it's impossible not to learn. You know what I mean? Like
yes.
people are on tuning in on YouTube searches, pulling up crip walking to this song. I guarantee it, bro.
I
Trying to
think
get it down.
that I think that A minor line might be the most memorable this this line ever, bro.
Yo.
That is
Yeah.
just that is a bar that I didn't see coming when I first. I remember when I first heard it, I was just like, "This is what we're doing." Yeah, no,
Yo.
man. Yeah,
Yeah.
this was, and the crazy thing is, this how you know is that this L was bad. When was the last time you played any of Drake's diss records from that battle?
I haven't. And the only reason I played it one time since the day it dropped. And the only reason I did was to do my due diligence for the podcast. That
Same,
was the only reason.
same.
Like it doesn't hit for me. Like
Yeah,
Family Matters, I think is his better one. And I'm
that's the
just like,
best one. That's the best one because his rapping was good, but he still did corny stuff on there that made it not as even potent as it could have been. Like even the way it starts, like
yeah.
you tried to make your white mother say the N word. Like it's just it.
Drake being Drake. Yeah, man.
Diamond, man. Shout out to Kate. Um,
Diamond, 13 months, bro. Historical, bro. Like
this is
for a
what
diss record.
this is why our book is surrounded around conscious rap is using J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar as the framework. They
Hmm.
don't have these type of moments.
Nah, nah. Mm.
They might have a record you don't like, but they're not suing over this records, man.
You know, you know what I'm saying? Like that is unparalleled levels of lame. I personally don't understand, but
J. Cole's mother is white. He's not putting her on this record saying,
come
"Hey,
on,
mom, say this." Like,
come on.
I'm like, what are we doing? Yeah, man. Shout out to Dot. Shout out
Yeah,
to Cole, man. Diamond is crazy.
it's crazy, man. But it's definitely well earned, well deserved, bro. What other songs do you think hitting hits? What other songs do you think are worthy of some attention and some eyes, man?
Man, let me see. Let me see. Okay. Now, usually I don't. So I'm gonna get this disclaimer before I get this hit and hit.
Hmm.
Typically, I do not um talk about drill artists much on this show.
Hmm.
One of the reasons why is just because some of the rhetoric I just can't get behind. You know what I mean? Especially with
Hmm.
this and dead and all of that. I'm just not an advocate for some of the messaging on some of those records.
Yeah.
Um, but G Herbo got one that we got to talk about.
Mm.
G Herbo went legit. I don't know if you've heard this record, but it's
Mm.
um so you got to throw that one in there. If you haven't heard G Herbo went legit, hard. It's
Mm.
a hard beat, hard rapping, everything about it. I think it's fire. So that's one. We're gonna do a little one that's a little old but still hard, man. Meet Me in Frisco by Larry June. That's been
Fire.
on heavy repeat lately. Definitely got to check that out. Produced by Cardo. That's been on my. What else we got? What else we got, man? I'm gonna throw an Ice Cube one on here. I'm going all the way back. I'm gonna throw an Ice
Okay.
Cube joint, man. And this track aged so well. And if you haven't heard this, Earl, I want you to check this one out too when we get off, man. It's called True to the Game.
Mm. Okay.
Hard, hard,
Mm.
hard, hard, hard record, bro. Early Ice Cube record off Death Certificate, but definitely a track that I would highly recommend. I think those are the main ones I have. What you got?
Yo, so JID, we talked about the pre-lux preview to the album that he's dropping in August. He has a record on there called New Better. like that I'm really rocking with. I was rocking with. I was listening to it right before we started recording on the
Mm.
pod, man. So that's a solid record.
It's called
I
New
know he's
Better.
yeah, knew better.
Okay,
Yep, with
okay.
Little Yachty and Little Yachty. I know you're not a Yachty fan, but he actually did.
How'd you know?
So yeah, he did solid, man. Also, I know this person is not is more of an R&B artist than he is a hip hop artist, but I think he's kind of like our modern day version of Nate Dogg. But Ty Dolla $ign, man, he has an album coming out, and he has a
Mm.
record called All In. I think is going to creep into the
Mm.
hookah spot, the nightclub, if you will. I could see it, man. So I was listening to that,
That's a
and
great
it's
comparison.
yeah,
I've
I
never
think he
thought to
fits
compare
that.
Ty Dolla Sign to Nate Dogg, but that makes so much sense.
It makes sense. Like he's on so many classic hooks, bro. Like, yeah,
Yeah, he's that guy. He's the
he's
hook
that
guy.
guy. Yeah, bro. I think that wraps up my hidden hits really as far as like hip hop artists go. I'm still listening to that Code of the Friend album. I'm still listening to
Yeah.
Bodie James and I was listening to ESTG. So if I had to pick among those, I would say listen to Free Rico by ESTG. He dropped
Okay.
a, project recently too. If you like that type of sound, I'm listening across the board, man. I don't limit myself to nothing because I know like you can find some gems here and there. So yeah, yeah, that's my hidden hits, man.
I got one that I want to say, but I probably shouldn't say it. I'm not gonna say it.
Nah, what, what?
I got one I shouldn't say just because of all the people who own it. It just sounds crazy. I ain't gonna be able to say that one. I'll tell you off pod. But yeah, man, that's hidden hits, man. Episode 51.
51, man.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir, man. Look, we appreciate all the support we've been getting for this show so far, man. Make sure that you are subscribed. Make sure that if you listen on YouTube, you hit that subscribe button. If you listen on audio platforms, Spotify listeners, Apple listeners, make sure y'all leave that 5 star. Share it with a friend. We appreciate all of you all who tune in via audio platforms as well, man. Keep running those numbers up. Follow us on social media, man. We're getting more active on TikTok, Instagram.
Yeah.
Make sure you follow us at Rap and Reason. That's at Rap and Reason on those platforms, man. And yeah, comment stuff that y'all want us to cover. If it's a song or artist who you like, man, you really need to check this out.
Hmm.
Send it to us, man. We'll give it a look, and you know, if we think it's worthy of discussing, we'll check it out and review it on the podcast.
100%, man. Yeah. Until next time, bro.
Till next time, bro. Peace.
Peace.